Memo watching na memo wakwa ba mfambra Nnawotwi dwumadie so e Adom TV enna no akọ Nnawotwi fufura ba beto ya e so me no sin konwa na ye dwendwen oman Ghana ene ye wiase afanda nsema kon uze nsema isi wo beebi no ya na wo nsunsuanso wo ne ye wo Ghana ha na Nnawotwi we mu na the United States of America ye nim say ebusuafo bebre na no ewo America ho na wotwe omuko koto aba omo president na aba na ya de ye kasa ya nkra no counting egusua koso na emu wabra counting koso no Donald Trump onim say America no ohia 270 electoral college votes now they are winning, so you're find 270 collegiate votes. Na by omoto abano the next day na Donald Trump enya 270 na emana broso at a point now 276 inti ade anono win election ewo ho ebra win yana na Harris so ewo 226 as we speak according to the Associated Press edamanim hasisiano Donald Trump collegiate vote no akwa kodu 301 because omuguswa counto abano Harris and Kamala Harris edaso ewo 226 now also in terms of voter Kamala Harris ewo 70,355,827 votes. Donald Trump jinadema the Republican Party, Kamala Harris jinadema the Democrat Party. Donald Trump the Republican ono was 74,263,792 votes into which ono kuta 50.5%, Kamala Harris ekuta 47.9%. And ewo Nnawotwi dwumadie so ye hwe insusuanso ben na Trump aban ebewo ma African continent Ghana ye kan ho bi enti ene ye behwe sa intricacies no say Donald Trump wa win no insusuanso ben na ewo de ma the African continent ye bedi ho enkomo ewo Nnawotwi dwumadie so ye wi a na ya ba Ghana ye do be call parliament ye nyina enim say parliament fida speaker the information or no friend information, but in some point in some court document I kind from even I can cite or rather or refer to that as ruling, but speaker can say information or the information but to just say some 4 members of parliament be advocate your seat if in say and I'm say me and sa wo mo a omoko independent Bako ye NDC MP Amenfi Central mienu eye NPP MPs omoko independent Agona West Cynthia Morrison ene ye Suhum Kodwo Asante na one independent ono eye the second deputy speaker of parliament ono nso across the MPP because in the 2024 election ojina on the ticket of the MPP. And then I speak at betu just say so article 97 G and H actually say omoye sane de so vacate omo seat no eno and the majority side in parliament led by Orafa Makin the Supreme Court can say omo stay sa information speaker de buy no and almost so direct parliament to say on na omasa and a parliament in share na omuma sa for MPs na kwan na omum perform omum duties as a year MPs. E ba na sa no according to omum ni mbra na kire say the status quo has been maintained. Enti senior na parliament esitie before speaker edi information e ba no Sarah ena akwa enti the MPP side is a majority, the NDC side a minority. Na eno no and after say Supreme Court ma sa in share no ombeshia parliament no minority ne occupy the majority side eno nti ora Alexander Afeoma marking leading the side no emo boycott omo PA omo walk over out of parliament. Then the speaker kai said, well, minority members no omo miti quorum say ombehye parliament ase na mmom omo ni numbers ombetumi dra transactive business eno nti no o gina so na or the suspended parliament and 15% of majority MPs sign a year because Mbrane say 15% of MPs able to me as speaker say on recalling parliament and a speaker ejina asofi say na omamiti the threshold inti or recalling parliament so mambeshia parliament beshia you know the majority side anko fie ho and the speaker SI Jina so can say well omo an omo frey say yemra na ye be hia yi omo ni ho and the speaker say suspended parliament indefinitely we and e be mu fi say parliament aye boni because speaker kasa I think it's the okay speaker can say Supreme Court any president aye boni at the constitution because of what was happening. No more aye boni ni omo ya adobonfo ekwan be ne ye betumi afa so ya resolve what is happening in parliament ene yesi nkonya wo ho na yetumi edi nkomo on Nnawotwi dwumadi so from Samuel Kojo Brace me gina me production team anam na mamo akwaba to the show yeda say next one me akwanja say memeka ho e obabi a wo bia no efi Adom TV so a Nnawotwi dwumadi etwa ne ho e wo Asempa 94.7 FM nti meda menua penny ehwi aboacho yi Adom ene na badwafo asese omotumi age ye tata won Asempa FM a ebeduru samre a yeso mu no ye twa ho teoni aba ye ba ye de nkomotwetwe no be sha no na emom menkanche menfa ntudwa se mabadwafo amene ombedudwe eye kwekuku ahye ogina mu de my MPP and Richard Manurube our no represent the NDC on the show ye kwani abato ye ba ye de nsem na kanyina no beto ama ho so watbi oni entra. Alright, I call you Nnawotwi dwumadi so me say baby a wo bia no na se en council do afidie da to ha wo hwe Nnawotwi dwumadi e wa Adom TV eno amihia nkofo bebre na omoboy abaso baby a wo bia ye so de abaso bone de ma officer se wan hwe ye ne a ne ye be bia no enru bia nti ye de na se ene de ma menka wo se ye beje wadwo nkyere wa bra ye beko ye chi no ye ba be wi dwumadi ye beje also wadwo nkyere on the show. Nemom yenkwe na yenkonkoshe Donald Trump this election a course America na I mean before the election na post be bre na say Donald Trump ebetumi win but again na ebe muso kire say Kamala Harris so abamu yie pa omdo ko share so I mean in America say na misika say na wadwan ne ya America bato no we also winning majority of air collegiate votes. Omono, we need 207, also we need 270 collegiate votes now to be the winning. Because so sure, maybe to say Washington, only a 90% reporting as of now. But Washington, equal 12 electoral votes. I want to Kamala Harris, a lady, by or 2,028,272 votes. Donald Trump equita 1,358,344 votes. By in total, what be winning no? Kamala Harris winning is here no equita 12 electoral votes. Over Oregon, 8 electoral votes. In total, 12 one saying 20. Omu de nsa no mhwe no. O hwe bebi to say Montana Trump winner omu kuta 4 electoral votes. Idaho, equita 4 electoral votes. South Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Texas, equita 40 electoral votes. And when we need Texas, equita 40. And no, now the bobo ma Osha Donald Trump. I want Donald Trump winning. Louisiana, 8 electoral vote. Donald Trump winning. We're winning because it's just 99% reporting as of now. Osha Mississippi, 6 electoral vote. Donald Trump winning. Alabama, 9 electoral vote. Donald Trump winning here. 99% reporting. Also Georgia, 16 electoral votes. Donald Trump ewini 99% reporting. Florida 30 electoral voting to show. Donald Trump ewini Florida. We win Texas. Texas mko saying 40. Florida 30. Inti oka enokra abomwa 70 electoral votes. Inti America no, that side is Ohio 17 electoral vote. Donald Trump win Indiana 11. Inti in America you need to win 270 electoral collegiate votes. Now they are winning. As of under pair year say Donald Trump winning 301 collegiate votes. And until Donald Trump has been declared the winner of the American 2024 elections. In fact, Kamala Harris considered a defeat to Donald Trump. Yenkonkotie ora Donald J. Trump represented the Republican Party. Ninsa modi atudwa. Yeba yebehwe say insunsuan so ben na election way in America ebenya on Africa. Oni entna. We have an interesting discussion to have. Yeba. Enti bemo akwaba bio evamra na watwedwumede nti Donald Trump on some na wokokotie no. I mean it hasn't been easy in the United States of America. Well, remember Kwakwashi representing the MPP, Mana Kwaba, on Waba Cancer. You need that coin, say Richard Manurube Subaba Cancer of the NDC. Now, yet to me together, yeah, in some way. Now, share BBC, I publication. You say trade aid, security. What does Trump's win mean for Africa? Now, Trump winning, you know, African president Nabebrena Asha say tweeted about, you know, what this could mean for Africa. Now, Donald Trump, the first stint at our White House, you know, critics are accusing Ono for dismissing Africa because of cutting funding, or be immigration, and reportedly referred to some of its nations as shithole countries. I mean, in Africa. However, or introduces schemes are increasing investment in Africa. Schemes are omuguswa juma Africa, you know. But there's also an issue about climate change near there. When him say Trump ASOE America, I think he even withdrew them from the Paris agreement.
Climate change agreement.
Yeah. Yes. Now, so yes, it has an impact on climate change.
Yeah.
Again, or yes, so be America free NATO, but I mean NATO, yeah, we are not really, even though indirectly we are affected, but in terms of direct impact, you know, it's about trade policy, aid policies near there. From our baby at when the Trump second presidency obemini ye dam Africa and now daughter then.
Could you make that say? The coming function, actually for Moshayana pay. And I mean, His Excellency Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia at this time of Wapro Ashanti region, the stronghold of MPP. Maybe a Koyi Opa, or share and conform with bonus one. Shows clearly say, oh, yeah, Obia, a man for Jinatu. In fact, apart from Ashanti region, many other places were Kony and Obia clear say, and we are very confident that Ashanti region, like most other regions, will come on very strongly come 7 December. Now more better, about Mechi Atwaba man heavily pa. Now what man mandates no na all the atua in Juma pa aban eye any ononka sana na nso adu ho owo emagana so or the oyamai. Yes, since the US elections it's been an interesting one. Polls no be different things, you know, ABC Harris be winning, ABC Trump be winning. Of course, eventually Trump winning. And when I was in a different station where I made the point say where polls say who play propaganda with election researcher, the election results will expose you. It's not just by the way, you know. And see, yes, Trump no okay, and see me who Trump at somebody who say before Obama in 2016, now China was getting very strong, even as now, in terms of trade and so on, investment in California, China, because of our labor market na name to be cheaper in see. Now ma name P air call US are cheaper. In the factories were shut down in US because Sikaba ko bibia obiyan fa so mo.
Yeah.
What is natural. It is say America or American okra $100,000 and $10,000. That's what first say ade me de share America me bi adwuma ha me say ya me nya ho fa so $10. But say China say the hot here me de ko ho me nya ho fa so be $100 or be ko ho no. What is here? On say me ya America ni nti me keep ha say ya or be ko. And before buy na enwuma p shift ko China because of cheap labor. But oyobia office listen. Media say mama ndwuma aba America. And see obaya no odeniema tariffs etototo enema mokra eba kom honia. And see ohwe ene tie ohwe report na omomo ho no. It was clear say obaya na ndwuma eba back. What you say? Ndwuma eba back pa. And see his second term no we will be surprised say obekọ the same tangent. The whole idea is that creating Juma America for. Again, I can't say about immigration in Kahunia. Say obey mass deportations. It's quite surprising saying some okay in the amount for you to man. You know, some me say amount for more America or for some more illegally no. Omunia no or pamunia sanko omukrum. And see Trump you be sir because business minded no or should be in profit and loss. What I say? Enti na ade airport China ye lose. America ye lose. China is gaining more. There be yenye be bima enjuma samra. Enti as of now I mean say as part of the way or promises obey on some goods you know about 60% tariffs because so. Once that happens you know the goods coming from outside are very expensive. What I say? It's easier now to keep your money in America and produce there. And that is a first aim. As an American fester, it is America.
Yeah.
In creating Juma, okay, but again, we propose a tariff of 60% yeah. As of now, it seems a bit across board from everywhere. And say a idea a bimwa, a bit affecting imports from China, from Mexico. For many other places, and I'm sure including Ghana. What I say?
But you know, we are under Onim said there is an act in America called AGOA, the
yes.
African Growth and Opportunity Act.
Yes.
Am I exporting your money into America without paying taxes?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And
no saying that AGOA act over for a period. I think it expires in 2025.
It's been there since 2000.
Yes. It expires 2025.
Okay.
It's a chance for renewal. I know the year says no be happen.
So they expire next year.
Next year. I don't know year says be happen now. So new proposal see the Canada.
But during the first term as president, okay, said when it's on renew into it, Trump said, this is according to BBC, during his previous administration, Trump said the scheme would not be renewed when it expires in 2025.
Yes, I believe so. We're in negotiation. All right, but in NBA negotiations, you see, the reason why I'm first say a better possible say over renewing is the fact that we share trade from many other parts of the world to America, and from Africa to America, and you're big star. Or we share numbers no. Or impact no. Or na enshana affecting be what does it? And see, China is moving billions to America in imports. Or the fear Africa banner sensha da and affect here. He allow it to go. It's the reason why man can someone yes agua no.
Okay.
What does it? Who say, look, yeah, Africa sa chance you can na almost chance papa nya hibia. Abe affect your local market. Here my example. Ofa ebia Walmart. Walmart and Kwan stores in America. Thousands. Thousands. Walmart and Kwan employees somewhere maybe 2 years ago was like 4.2 million. Almost the whole Accra. One company. Right? And if I say Walmart has got 100,000 outlets and 50 key outlets. Now I'll say we are Santa Jewi. Now for each shop beyond, each outlet beyond, me here by just 200 pieces and 1,000 pieces. Trust me, many in the country cannot meet that. Many can't meet that. 200 per shop times an extra 100,000 shops, no, which means it. Your impact on the system, no, and yet much. Only more as the Africa bisa no. What do I say? And much be I don't believe it's a expire we are trying to say, oh, kakri if you have Quebec and cancer baby. Or should be in Juma if ako.
But so no nimsa or cancer expire on renew.
But I say Trump can SMP. What I say? Okay, SMP. I'm saying the major thing for him is things like jobs jobs in terms of real jobs, no. A fee America ko China. And it was a manufacturer eco China nti. Among for you my own. What I say? These are things that commit me America. To you, much me America. As a Siano, or America for China or Hong Kong cheaper or but there are many things here. Which mean America in Africa, you know, you understand me? Then you as if say no more year or America. No more BC and yet. These are traditional goods a year African a unique be free Africa. And so I don't really believe that he will touch it very much at all. Okay? And about things like I can't trade, about things like aid and so on. One can say, despite that rhetoric in his first term, investment increases to Africa. What does he? Aha. And see, how do you in one breath, say, okay, I'm going to cut the Africa ever, and yet may send it investment there. Aha. You understand me? And see, I don't really see say, in terms of trade, a bit affecting that much. I believe I want a time sooner 2025 will be renewed. If for in his first term or launch here near friend Prosper Africa, the initiative of Prosper Africa, that shows that he still has some commitment to Africa. In fact, the wife almost launched one other initiative. I think it was $50 million to help 50 million African women in trade. And see, there are things at the Honoma as part of their broad American interest. Despite what he says now, especially what impacts on their budget, impacts on American economy, and you're very big in India. But the focus now in China, where the impacts are very big. Okay. I don't foresee say Abia aid a slow Debbie. What I say?
Really?
I have the money. I hear about
$3.7 billion.
And yet mobile. And yet mobile. One company signs that check. One company signs that check. What I say? See, offer American economy, for example, offer Uber. Nancy Vice President Ekasa. Uber as a company through one app on Kwano, value in the world, Uber over $170 billion. I don't quite more than twice Ghana's whole GDP. It's 3.6 billion from the whole American market of trillions in Africa. Really. And yeah, Obesumu say ordinansa boom didn't be as between. I don't foresee that happening.
But Trump a bit different from all Republican presidents. Yes. It is facts Republicans they tend to invest more in Africa than according to sources than Democrats.
Because they're more businessmen actually.
You bet me the N1 highway near there, But the thing is, do we think that Trump be followed the same path?
Yes, let me say.
So overpulling a lot of resources, looking at what he said in the past, really.
Yes, and I say from your report, I can see despite what he said, investment increase in Africa during his first term. I think we're seeing that here right now. What I say, despite that, and some things are part of the broader American interest and national, the spread of the empire, the spread of the power. And see, on Shelan Fan Sanka, he will leave it because impacting is very, very small. Now, mid on my eye, mid a day, is it $500 million? They do $1 billion.
But that time was a lot of money.
Well, dollar now is $1 today.
No, but I mean, that time he could do a lot.
Yes, but I'm just saying, even today, $500 million can still do a lot. I'm saying, any much beer for that economy. Economy is into trillions. Into a mark, could be any much beer. Or any impact. For example, in world security matters, or can say, or in first term, not say the contribution America makes to NATO no be so okay.
Yes.
But these are terms of who say and I need to say the idea all countries contribute to make sure say
we'll come to security.
Okay,
but
right.
I wanted
That's
to
fine.
So you have trust investment in Africa in terms of the economy will be higher.
I think so. I think so.
Despite
I think so. And what American investments, almost areas. America for manufacturing organ and Africa. They go for areas that control the economy. Mobile into oil, mobile into mining. You understand me? But whereas baby Trump need shepherds or jobs back to America, farm manufacturing jobs. Here, offer things like oil, offer FPSO. Ni pay goods on Yahibia. Sa whole ship na did oil in here. Ni pay goods on here no be 500 gra. At one point. And also, into the areas now a bit to me attract jobs, equity jobs, you don't find them coming in there much. Into the impact on American economy, impact on jobs lost in America, are very, very negligible, very, very small. And I don't foresee him really say or be affected, investment and trade in Africa. I don't foresee that happening.
But you see, one of the greatest revenue sources for African continent, you kind of say, injection your brothers and sisters in US Adeba.
Remittances.
Remittances,
yes.
Good. Is one of our biggest revenue sources for as a continent.
Yes.
And this is the president also I would ensure that we deport undocumented immigrant. And we know we have a chunk of our brothers and sisters are undocumented immigrant. I mean, if Trump follows through, that will be a huge cut on the revenue source from the remittances. On
that score, I can understand that. On that score, yes. Young conform what's now what chair when papers are expire, want to renew on your citizens and so on. If that happens, I'd agree there. Or no can affect, or indirect. But I say, in the sense, or as a result of. And see, one shall anchor there. Men parents cover African tea. You understand me?
Oh, but indirectly, that's what they mean.
Or indirect. And see, we can have some impact there. That I would agree with you. You understand me? Or as a result of, as a byproduct of an actions be a take. Right? Again, but
I mean, even though it's indirect, the impact on the continent will be huge because there are some of us, our daily dependence is on our ability to excel in life, and it's tied directly with Sika Wadeba Emanemo. So if Trump takes such a person out, that hugely affects him and I'm dependent and wants to my brother de Kakradeba Yezin. So it will be a huge blot.
Well, a huge blot, I understand, but to the extent that saying exactly what numbers of Africans in there are undocumented, that might be affecting one.
Okay.
As I say, as of now, you them figures, if we knew able to them not able to affect. I agree that then there are some there who are undocumented. Okay. There are some there who are there illegally. As I say, but see who numbers now. ABS is okay. Or 11 million illegal, citizens, illegal immigrants there right now.
Yeah.
Them 11 million. As me even 1 million Ghanaians, and 2 million Africans or 3 million Africans. That's a major impact. You understand me? And see, without being, without being given those facts yet, we can only project or we can only assume its impact on, our remittances and on our economy. But see who numbers now, we see really how that affects us.
Okay.
As I say.
Okay.
Yes. But again, to the extent being there, on shutdown stop investment into Africa. As I say. And in one breath, and yes, this deportation could affect us economically, but Nkofoso will still come and invest in here. Doesn't mean that some Nkofoba you understand me? These are things that we'll see how it affects. But essentially, my friend send me a work on to me full as he said. I mean, I think it's okay in first and one yeah, okay, to me the first and one and so you can be really utum mozido.
Okay. Actually, BBC and There's a publication they did on 29 September 2024. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security estimated there were 11 million illegal migrants living in the U.S. as of January 2022. That's huge.
That's huge.
But interesting. But out of this 11 million, you are asking how much of
many Africans?
And all have Africa.
I can presume a lot more come from the Mexican side than Kenya. It's the reason why I can be wall because more enter from that side.
Okay.
You understand me? And see, depending on how many of these 11 million are Africans or are Ghanaians, you know, it will impact on Africa and on Ghana.
Okay.
All right. But most of me in there, Ghana for Pina, many of them documentation quite right where they are.
Okay.
Yes. On change your papers. Because when Ghana there was some image be people are willing to work with Ghanaians more than many other nationals. To the example there are other nationals that some kid baby also if Ghana. That's not what. And see, I would imagine that impact on Ghana on that major.
Okay.
Because many of our people who are once were documented, they are legal migrants who are in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Richard Manurube of the NDC, Ababa Cancer. Richard, Yaboko. Hey, see, they're full branding on.
Now, we want to say we are doing who prepares your own Flagstaff House. Na wako ukwano you lobby house after the Flagstaff House badia. There's
nothing like Jubilee House in
Ghana. How do you call it?
Jubilee.
Oh, okay, I heard it's on Jubilee House or something.
Jubilee House.
Jubilee House.
Jubilee.
Okay, Jubilee. I say you have to sell the colors of the leader and the political party. Okay. Now, man, for say this is the political party with sanity. This is a political party that will hold accountability in high esteem. This is the party that will hold development as a priority. So that people will not think that you're someone and not to Jumano. So from now, whom we have Flagstaff House next 2 months. That means that is the ticket of the ADC that's leading there. In the branding there is very important. So also I say number one, but I'm number one. And you know what the number 1 stands for in the ballot paper. So and you know what number 8
stands for victory.
And you know what number 8 stands for the ballot paper. Well, I want to say, yes, in the midst of all this hunger and poverty, in the midst of all this super incompetency, in the midst of all this corruption, we have number 1 corrupt person on the ballot paper in there. So if Ghanaians don't really want to involve themselves in corruption, the priority of the MPP is their number 1 priority is corruption, stealing and all those things. So you should ignore it. Then we'll look at 8 years in suffering, 8 years in hunger, 8 years in submerged of media freedom, 8 years in scrambled economy, 8 years with a bad road, 8 years with bad health facility, 8 years with no one district, one factory, 8 years with no one village, one dam, 8 years with no national theater. These are the things we are looking for. You go and press number 8 on the ballot paper and make President John Dramani Mahama the President of the Republic of Ghana. Okay. And Ghana will work again for you. Okay. And I'm the good people of Nkwanta South constituency and Oti region. Okay. Now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is pressed for power. Okay. And now you see what is happening. I just returned from Oti region with His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, and we are in Central region now. We want to hope and tell Ghanaians, in out there, no, if the NDC got less than 57 to 60%, we have to question the Mensa why it happens. Change is coming. Hope of this country will be resolved. And Ghanaians, there's hope.
Why is also a question?
Oh, no, because
the American elections, the impact of Donald Trump winning on the African continent, economy, aid, security.
So, as okay, it's fine. I mean, sir, let me use this opportunity. I forever congratulate Donald Trump, the former president of the United States of America, who is now a president-elect to America again. He left last the White House and is back to the White House again. This makes the MPP for Nayana a yes almost rubium. Say, hey, you start a campaign on the Zomuka saying, oh, President Mahama, now, then, shoot Ben. The Flagstaff House, I will see Osakofa GB, Osakofa Bium. Metier said, the Buno regional chairman of the MPP, Evans Abronia, Bafo Abronia or something, what is his name? I can categorically say, the John Mahama Jai Busumbi, Flagstaff House now, to say, dear, or some person Konokofa Busono theatre and to the Bebrano. But you see, the good news is Kama has a way of handling the situation in this country. So the United States of America has been able to go back for their former president. Say they tested the president of No Hope. I think say in Ghana so the Ghanaians also originally that and make sure Omampeni John Dramani Mama will come and complete all the bogus things that for a year. We're going to rejuvenate this country. And you ask the impact of Donald Trump in our Ghanaians, our African continent economy, being it security, being it economics and what again? Security, economy,
aid and security, yeah.
And security. It is clear, the role the the United States of America play in our African continent when it comes to security. And it's obvious. I think they have the US base in Ghana here. The military, they have the United States military in Oklahoma. They even contribute impactfully in our economic society. Currently, I said the US embassy issue a statement of the visa restriction in our election. And so I said, all the political actors in this country during the election, they must all stay not to live in this country. So they protect the security of our continent, which is one of the things that Nnawotwi for the child youth and says, oh, maybe I will lose the election, or win the election, I will hand over. Because initially, his role was to hand over power to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But when the U.S. security U.S. embassy issued a statement, they said, someone visa no. These are things that we have an impact in our economy. So you talk about the economy. Why the United States of America to about Donald Trump? It was based on three things. Okay, three good things: the immigration, the legalization of gayism and other things. Then one other thing is about economy.
I'm talking about Trump.
It was because Hillary was also talking about abortion rights and legalization of gayism and lesbian, and Trump was against it.
No.
Yes, Trump was against it. Trump has been like President John Dramani Mahama, who has stand on his feet and been against the abortion rights and the legalization. Yes.
Mahama has been against abortion rights.
Mahama has been against LGBTQ.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, LGBTQ. And I've always said that me and minutes ago, Anka Yeti Edin Komamina say, or no free voter and on the Western Central region. What you get intertwined in all regional MP before using for voting voter in the Central and Western League. Anka ni papa sebi, anka papa, anka kowari bemma, anka by this time, anka any system more. That's why we so bad say we have not got an opportunity to be in this country. And that is what President Mahama stands for. And that is when Nnawotwi and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said it is bound to happen.
But we haven't gotten to what you're doing.
No, so I am talking. You are talking about election. You are talking about the impact. You are talking about impact in our Africa continent.
Yes.
That's why I'm telling you what the impact.
But baby, and we are looking at whether
I am taking it one over one.
Where you are, you better.
No, me see, I am taking it one after the other. We are talking about economic security, and I'm saying insecurity, even in our country. There's media enclave in this country, but I mean we are dealing with what multimedia, and we are dealing with Adom FM. They hear no pioneer Adom FM. So when I talk about the impact in the African continent, my priority should be my country first.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm telling you the impact in the United States of America and what we replicate in our Ghanaian sector of economy.
That's why America does.
So
when it comes to its impact, possible impact on our election in December.
No, we're talking about the economy. We're not talking about elections now.
Hold on.
Yes.
Yebebaho.
Yes. Yebebaho. Yes.
I want to
Donald Trump because he's against it. If you even check the post, you see that the Latinos, the Catholic communities were all against Hillary Kamala because of what? Because of those.
But the question I may be saying there, if you look at the Donald Trump presidency, if you look at the Donald Trump presidency, or may mean that there will be more investment from America to Africa.
We won't get to economy. We'll talk about that one.
But that's I'm asking you a question.
So no, but you gave me three thematic sectors to talk about the impact on Africa economy. Yes. So I've spoken about security. I'm talking about social life. Let me go on my economy.
No, so I'm
but what are you talking about? Oh, Masa.
Let him have his time.
So these are the things basically, no, the impact on the African economy. I have always made a submission in this country that if you look at all this LGBTQ thing, that the impact that we have in Africa, but using the media imperialism, media imperialism, people copy it and they just oppose it to what is happening. I've said my mother always watch faces when you see a beautiful queen, television doing a catwalk. She tells me that this girl is from a very bad home. But me, with my generation, I say, yeah, that's a beautiful girl. You understand? Because the media has impacted that in the culture that I live. And these are the things that we copy from the Western world. But this is the man who is against it. And so we think that with the impact that we get from that, that while the world president, it is obvious that the most super powerful nations in this country, in this world, is the United States of America. So when you have a world president against lesbianism and against gayism, and we have an African president in Ghana like this who is for lesbianism and for gayism and lesbianism, then it means that we must copy and replicate the American president. And I mean, actually, my flag bearer, President John Dramani Mahama, is also slowly against it. Okay. But the NPP former president, it is bound to happen. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo said it is bound to happen, and Bawumia supported.
No.
Napo has supported it. Napo has supported it.
Hold on. Bawumia on a platform, is it in Kumasi or so?
Yes.
Said, "Me mabai."
Now, I
hold on. Engadia yabama LGBT biya
Obwa
me Muslim.
Oh, your president or your vice president is here. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But Bawumia the president Okrumah. You are aware? He has acted as president in this country. He has acted in the absence of the president. He has acted as a president. And when you want to tell me that when Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is out of this country and there's any documentation or anything, he doesn't have the right to sign? Does it not?
Has it ever happened?
Oh, I don't ask. I'm just asking. I don't know. Oh, maybe something. I don't know. Yes, but so I have started this. I've been here, and I heard Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say 33 policies. On no the champion here. Every corner boss said, "Chale, boss, make you sign this thing for me." And I sign 33 policies. Now LGBTQ they also trying. So now buy him or no one near buy him. Now not don't go for only the LGBTQ into one sign. Into only the so bar sign. We are vice president. We are vice president, so you must sign it. So you also support it.
Okay.
The Minister of Education.
Okay. Let me ask this question.
Now,
so share the the Republican government. We understand, say, I mean, historically Republican, but it looks like there's some investment in Africa. But Donald Trump in particular has made some pronouncement. I man for a bomb who say some investment can come to Africa. Do you have same he said Donald Trump baby and neighbor or cut investment to Africa and that's what the investment be Africa?
Let me congratulate you with your smartness. You are one of the sharp guys. Let me congratulate you on that. You try to dive my attention to where I want to go and then you push me to the reality of the path. But please, are you the host? Masa, I was sent by President Mahama and my party to come and speak, not your direction. So you are talking about, say, a man for a boom, said the investment that will come. Will literally come by the pronouncement that Donald Trump made. So can you read the pronouncement for the Ghanaian people? Yes.
If you look at it, there is something called the African Growth and Opportunity Act. I am African countries exporting produce to US or bring into taxes, and this has been there since 2000.
Yeah.
Now Donald Trump, I want the first time I can say, scheme never expire in 2025. Expire next year. Expire year on renew.
Yes.
Now, and Kofre Brenana, I can say, Sadiwi Ekoswa, it would impact the African continent. For example, during the 2024 campaign, our pledges obey implemented a universal 10% income tariff on all foreign-made goods, which includes Africa.
Very well.
Now, yes, we imported goods are more expensive. And African exporters would likely bet on less of work on produce in large US market. Now, numerous commentators of South Africa, for example, which is the largest exporters under the AGOA agreement, AGOA na Mikaelo, our producers are cutting AGOA could have significant impact on the economy. However, US think tank Brookings Institutional predicted that South African GDP would shrink by just 0.06%. That's South Africa. Or the Ghana there, it could be a bit higher. And then maybe so I say, if you look at what he said in terms of even the AGOA, and the women presidency, do you have fears to say, it could impact investment on the continent? during the time.
I feel that if this, what Trump says, will happen, I will turn as an opportunity for Africa to take a critical look at where they will be able to trade in an international platform. Because many your Africa. Your Africa Oklahoma, African Continental Trade Agreement.
Yeah.
It's a good platform.
Yeah.
I know you're an agriculturalist. You produce rice. Maybe Ghanaians don't know.
Yeah.
You produce a large chunk of rice, but look at the number of importation of rice in this country. Yeah. Do we meet demand? That's the question you should ask. Do we really meet demand? So if somebody is waking up our mind, why don't we care within ourselves with the platform that we have? Now, yes, we have to produce showcase it. Well, I mean, you can say we have an investment promotion department. Why don't we promote within our African continent that we'll be able to keep our city? Yeah, kind of importation and exportation now, and then $1 in the city,
yeah.
So if Trump is saying no, this transaction or this exportation, I know say intercontinental trade is very important. It's a fact. But yes, we say yeah, me new kasa cry. Yeah, doing the exportation and importation best shrinking the African economy no crown. Yeah, meeting a demand. What they say? Yeah, meeting a demand, and they go to Namibia. The sole backbone of the economy. It's not meat. It's not meat.
In Namibia.
In Namibia, free range cattle, and Namibia has been able to export huge meat outside the country. And you can say, yeah, in Namibia exportation now outside the country, they don't complain, no. And then we don't meet up our meat consumption in this country, even in Ghana. Then they talk, and yet I will have twice. Yeah, we did 5 months, 6 months. I do you know the health implication on it? Look at our chicken product, our poultry production. So even domestic targets, where you meat cry. So honestly, you don't have that external trade with us. Why don't we take this as an opportunity within ourselves? I ever trading in a common platform. We even use to strengthen our city and our country. We can even compete in the international community. When you say they have moved to the stabilization of their city and the other distance, and they have a very good collateral. Even if they borrow, the interest rate is very lower. And they move into nuclear weapons. As I said, they use as a tool of power. And then you see the Russia is coming up, the Ukraine is coming up. The Egyptians are coming out. The Americans believe they are superpower because they'll be able to have strengthened city. They'll be able to have meet the domestic their demand, and they are doing it. Now, I say, okay, our local cry using with our hand wave. No, do we meet in Ghana? Don't they export it to other countries for them to buy? So I think there's an opportunity for us as a nation, as an African Trade Continental Agreement. Now, we go and trade. Go to a place like Switzerland, you go to like UK and other countries. What did they depend? It's not because of what? Remittances. They use remittances and our gold reserve as a strong collateral to make sure that they have a stable economy in their country. And we sit here and we want to export ours to America, export to other countries to say it will run down our economy. Who told the people in Togo doesn't want more of
and other things?
When I catch you, say I'm confirm more Togo, I'm confirm more Burkina, I'm confirm more they want. Your tomatoes, it's not Burkina Faso. Onion, and Niger. And then go and check. Ghana, export more than 2.4 billion worth of shea butter. Our neighboring countries said even pepper. You meet your demand, no. And they said you quite cram more. Now America for pepper. You when I got away. Now cry one. Nay, dear, no, they call outside the country. You chase dollar to GDP CD. Now I won't say I think that Trump or waking us up. Say you're investing more into ourselves in a platform of Africa.
Okay.
Now what impact did it happen? At the time my penny John Dramani is clearly based on the agribusiness, and which is one of the most important things.
Now, if you look at aid, yes, Africa, most of the aid from US,
yes,
is around $3.7 billion over this financial year. But when said Trump in the last administration, we have several proposals on some slash foreign aid worldwide. Now, you don't have, economy you really dealt with it well. So it presents an opportunity. So yes, we will look how we can trade amongst us. But in terms of aid, if a cut here, you think?
No, I can make a strong cry. Let's cut the aid even to 90% out of our aid. So, I'm being honest.
Africa.
I'm from Africa.
Really?
Why do we need aid from the United States of America?
Have you checked? Have you checked what is happening even in Kenyan region where I'm working? What's the name?
So
is it take one or something.
Very well.
Senior, and then farming in part of Somalia,
Kojo.
even in Sudan.
The Horn of Africa.
Kojo.
I mean, if Memo Akwababio and Fambra Nnawotwi Jumadi so Adom TV, we just do a minute each of a wrap up on this American election. But in that wrap up, election can you have in December 7th? Manuribe.
Of course. This is also the Baba. I want to say America for their elections always told the lane of Ghanaians elections, and this is a time America for first say based on the policies and programs the Democrats at the two honor it doesn't favor them, and they say it's all about the economy and other things. And they show us the same problem you America no, it's the same problem you Ghana, and I'm amazingly surprised a former president. And also standing for the same election. And in Ghana, at the same time, a former president, the Ghanaians are also yearning to come back and very experienced. And then, I think that Ghanaians and Americans need experience, not experiment. I know that the impact is there. But quickly, before I end, now, when you say Ghana, our blue economy.
1 minute now.
Ghana, blue economy. The figure of blue economy.
No.
Oh,
yes.
So Obia share the trend of elections, Ghana from say 1992 up until now. Every time NDC, MPP wins, you find Republicans also winning. Or in fact, where one's the first. The time they win, you win. That trend is very clear.
But it changed in 2020.
Just once, just one out of the blue. That's it. On the poll, actually, most see the issues were very different. Again, let's get something very clear. In the look at that, so actually a trend is we can say confidently that MPP is winning. Because the Trump people who the Republicans, the sister party, yes, you win Muhammad. As simple as that. Again, so Ghana for Washer and Yema, the issues that affect America are different from Ghana. It's very different.
How so?
So, for example, whereas we're grappling with basics, for education, America would have 100 years ago. And that's why the Harvard have been there for over 100 years. I feel the lay foundation. And see, the issues are very different. Ghana for what those issues very different. Whereas America will be campaigning on your foreign policy, how I go and fight with Iraq, or I go and fight Iran. People want food on their table. People want jobs. And clearly, actually, these two candidates, Dr. Baumia and Mahama Okoranda, it is very clear who has a message. In fact, in this election in America, they were accusing Kamala of not having a message. It's clear Baumia has a message for the country.
Okay.
Mahama is confused. And all he's doing is insulting everybody in this country.
No, but but now so I come over at least you remember 24-hour economy. And watch him.
One day, one explanation. Baumia will show will lay foundational, digitalization is lay foundational. See, this individual creates some launch in the end of the year.
Okay.
Fantastic foundation for a growth of this economy.
Marty, thank you very much. A good Irish Nnawotwi Jumedi Adom TV do. Entino yemra na yenko parliament. We didn't say Nnawotwi we send bebre na na see after 15% of majority assigning petition for the speaker to recall the house. Speaker Eric Colley nanso enya dia majority for the buy. Nemom a day before Mexican speaker a press conference be very interesting press conference. I didn't say Bebrina to just the executive and the judiciary akabuma are more frustrating the work of parliament. That's where I can say the president and the chief justice they've sinned, that's his word, against the constitution, and I'll say omo pagana for cho yenkonkotie no yeba will take you to parliament as one yahwe na ekoso.
But back then, my shebi jamuchi amehene. Oye nsɛmtwerɛfo nhyia mu ano wakasa wase ɛna wɔde to dwa sɛ de bribia bi because so ɛwɔ na shebi dwamu a na wɔde akɔdan Supreme Court anasa asɛmdi bia na wɔnom nso ɛde wɔn tumi aba bɛhyɛ wɔn so no ɛnya de ɛma kwan ɛma wɔnom tumi wɔn adwuma yie ɛwɔ na shebi dwamu hɔ no.
Ladies and gentlemen, recent acts of the judiciary and executive, and I see them as interference in the workings of Parliament, pose a direct challenge to the essence, jurisdiction, authority, powers, and functioning of the esteemed institution of Parliament, which is the repository of the sovereign will of the people of Ghana. It is increasingly becoming clear, the judiciary and the executive are seemingly colluding to weaken Parliament.
NPP, our tradition is to respect rule of law. It's out of deference to Mr. Speaker. That is why we did not enter the chamber. That we should share in that chaos theater with them. Never. Never. We will not. MPP will not. We will not. Therefore, don't be swayed by their lies and their propaganda. What Mr. Speaker did today amount to supervising chaos and bringing the image of democracy to disrepute. Yes. Clearly, the NDC is on a warpath. They want confusion in this country. They want lawlessness in this country.
Good morning. Let me say that we are extremely disappointed in the MPP Minority Caucus for first triggering a recall of Parliament under Article 1123 and Order 53 of our standing orders and failed to show up. 2, we left our busy schedule, suspended our campaigns and reported to duty this morning, only to see that the MPP members of Parliament who actually recalled Parliament, we noticed that they failed to show up. This morning at about 7 o'clock, we showed up at the business committee meeting on the 6th floor only to notice that the MPP members of the committee once again failed to show up at the business committee. I personally called the committee clerk and I was informed that she is out of the jurisdiction and no one has reached out to him, to her, to program the business of the day. I was worried and reached out also to the MPP side and to have an indication as to what their plan is. No one responded.
Bra mrashibijafo eko asetena no mrashibijom chairman Aban Babin edi tudwa se MPP dom kese no ensema womo edi betu dwa se womo hwe enim se nhyiemu ebekoso no womo nso ana womo ama mrashibijom enu ntino eye order paper ebe guardium ewo mrashibijofie no womo ntimi entuso anamo.
We have, as usual, got a quorum to sit, but we have no business before us. In view of the failure of the business committee to sit, as a result of the refusal of those who requested for the recall to show up, we are compelled to once again adjourn the sitting of the House. Knowing the challenges we are facing, it is not advisable to be adjourning from day to day. And so I'll proceed once more to adjourn the meeting indefinitely.
Supreme Court were directed specifically to the Speaker. It was the Speaker, it wasn't the leadership, it wasn't the clerk, it wasn't the leadership which made that ruling and that decision. It was the Speaker of Parliament who unconstitutionally made the proclamation, whatever it is that he said the last time. The Supreme Court has told him that he was wrong. Restore matters to what they were.
So what will be the next line of action for the MPP?
Well, we will cite you for contempt. We will cite the Speaker for contempt. Watch the space.
I mean,
well, very very interesting videos, and I'll share. The first speaker, as a judiciary and executive, combine it to stifle the work of Parliament, and again, our journey, the House, and we saw Dr. Atuforsen there, filmmaking. But the last one is an interesting one. Katie Hammond said, "Obe cite a speaker of contempt because Supreme Court has also the status quo remaining. What is happening?" Well, let's come to the studio. It's 9:20. I'll share Obiabe 577 and then we'll come back and do some 3 more. Let me start with you, Kweku. Morocco do Parliament. I mean, on your disturbing bia.
Kojo. First of all, man kada Speaker Babin the press conference one of the most useless press conferences me
how can you describe that?
I'll give my foundation. One of the most useless press conferences. 2. Speaker Babin is being a threat to democracy.
How so? Explain your point.
Yes, I'm laying foundation. He's been a threat to democracy. And he's been a disgrace to Parliament. Yes.
How?
Merka. He's been a disgrace to Parliament.
How so?
As I mean then, you most as a Mr. in Parliament. Obizat about 2 when you there. And Kofubi, why be afraid there at forcing? What about 2 when you there? And Kofubi, why be afraid there? One season. What do you do? Erikaye, and majority after you marking. Okaji, a few quarts. What about there? In fact, was a 2 first. And that's all. As wide and probably one. I do one. About boy. About Parliament boy. Okay. Now, Ebayazi and the majority 4 courts. Okaji order brother. As the area no 100 do. And random more than corner by the Mazin. What's the buyer? Supreme Court's buyer a bogey. A quadro. Me pedayan a baye. Okay. As a year, you know. And there was another order from Supreme Court.
What did he do? Or Baba degree?
Okay. And see, there were some 4 seats to be a 4 MPs were planned in the next Parliament. Baba as different parties.
Yes.
And now, we catch there. As a worry, you feel there. The moon call from the Parliament seats.
Supreme Court card there on one Parliament. But what did he do after? That's the way, baby.
I'm saying, I'm answering over Kanama simple. Moncodonia.
One of the Moncodonia.
What's your first order?
No.
What's your first one? I get to you.
That time, Afenyo Marking had gone to Supreme Court, but no one say no. So it was just there. No, okay. One say.
Okay, fine. Into all you as in we no. Or you order Supreme Court as a no. My man wasn't.
Yes.
Don't put it into effect.
Yes.
It's not meant tie.
How so?
How so then? As a ye, I'm a minority, then minority for the majority. And to wait for be what other what's now. What about majority for one side? As may ye on to one way fee, about as majority. And one can say to Supreme Court working, me one yardins, and my lawyer truck come on there. Supreme Court working, me one yardin. You confirm the ABC. And see, on my point as a bay. Supreme Court time look at there. Yan so them and right January Cassaying. It has my canoe, Konakaye. A babaka, Uncas one. Uncas one.
Uncas on there. It is the Oba back after Supreme Court. Let's do that. Walk court in the Supreme Court Bogu, you know. It was the recall and Oya were first time we share. And when they met, the MPP itself one coaching bao.
Mercy, to you. When they met, you know, I will as a year in some more better Hamadi. It is your duty. Why the air trend and NPP brands are yet? What am order? It is your duty. The Bacada, baby, I was so hard in one so in one place. One cut me be other what's now. Exactly. You can't say there, whether by force NPP, women's and Kakasa. I'm order there.
But the news conference now, so okay, the sitting in the house or a clerk Nejuma, no Nejuma as speaker.
Or a clerk Nejuma.
Yes.
And it's so on no parliament. That's a family can tendency to that or a clerk Nejuma. But as well can no, you know, I arrange seats. I want who to sit where. So on no baby Watson, so I bow one day a family can tendency to that. So I Nejuma, Uncle Sniffy. Sure, as making what's there? let's assume that mommy will fear. Na on the FP na FM for ba obi me bia otena ozizi. Eta say when the oh pin ha na ote. Kakra ha na ote. Na fande mommy news ba no wi. Oti kuma news ba na oduke si pin no baby a pin tena. Say oh oti ba no wi. Oduke si baby a pin no otena. Oti kuma news ba no wi because baby a pin tena. Kuma no ba no. O news ba me bi osina na o okasena ho. Na otu honya na ngasa na baby a pain tinu nya ber opede pain ofio bet na honom enti awo obe as ma me a days ban 80 a 7 edekesi pain honom no ho na so katena yi na akatena ho ewie na pain no buefu da ha enye dem o da ye ma me enye dem no ye da na afi ma me se yen ka asem na o se ye ka asem na jide Kumano otena asem kan atase say you
matase
ma me news ban or serve mofobe bi na okay I'm the parents me serve ho na bi ni no ono ekuma ono epen na obebi eti typically in most homes obi agide ban obi okatena ozizi ono epen bi eti ni kuma ni bi ote na me serve wie fa na me serve wie no na me eyi news ban kuma na me de be si ohamde enti ono ba ya na bo news ban what's now?
Now, this speak on fashion, see, baby.
Remember analogy. What about now?
But analogy not for one more.
Yes, it will fit. Don't worry.
Okay.
What about now? Oh, dizzy. Ko on now so one ninya bro.
Okay.
Baby, it's as opinion because I pedo two for you. Ninya bro. It's all better is banning si hono. About now dizzy. And I complaining. After a complaint of Mr. Mam, and I prefer one brand castle. After I can't some Mr. Yima. I have here Makuma no on a pain the guanado. Na au pain so but na kuma ne guando ne yanka asem no the must work on him. The must work on him. How is that possible? It is your duty as pain of you to say there kuma baby you otenye ho na that na so if you ka na odabre on so matna ho. But you are asking there pain mat na kuma ne guando na kuma so on kodo na pain ne guando as work asem. Doesn't make sense.
No, but from the way you are saying, it looks like a the speaker no ashe. But the thing is that NDC, the NDC group, as early as we are told by a reporter, as early as 6:30, because they wanted to occupy that.
Precisely the point.
One so as majority side won't take the same approach.
No, I am saying that because speaker actions have been on one hands and went for the mazin. No pronouncements, no ruling been on more than hands and one for the mazin.
Okay.
And see that 2 minutes, in fact, one guy they keep saying there, says speaker us young so in favor so if you. They've been saying that.
Really?
Yes, okay. Ayagaka. Okay. Also says speakers young so in favor so if you.
Wrap up.
I'm telling you why he's doing this.
Okay.
And why he's a threat to democracy. Yeah? All he's doing is seeking his interest above all Ghanaians. Why? Because NDC for our promise they say to win the power now will maintain you as speaker. He still wants to be there. That's why he's doing what he's doing. When you does NPP win and we get majority in parliament, there's no way he'll be a speaker.
Okay.
All he's doing is protecting his job against all other Ghanaians' interests. Pierre, the Supreme Court can't some chill. You can't tell Supreme there. You pay 5 what's on. I want you to say one.
Send for mom. This year.
Oh, Marcus Ahena.
7 minutes. It's 20. It's 28.
You can't tell me there. I want you to say one.
Okay. Marty, Mazabaho. Richard.
I agree. Me hope, Papa. Kwaku is a very nice, handsome gentleman.
Don't you discuss me as such. Speaking
matter. Sir,
Speaking matter.
In national television, so. Utumia Bureau, no. I can say, speaker, a disgrace.
Yes, I give my reasons.
That speaker, the intended to maintain his post.
Yes.
Albert Sumani Bagbe.
Yes.
When you know. Sebi, over 30 years in parliament.
And so?
One of the most experienced parliamentarians ever come on.
And so?
I want him Bibia. To mesre, Sasema, any diem. I am bumping for I can have my opinion, but there's no way I will open my mouth. Say me ya o mampeni John Dramani Mahama. And I'm ya na nadi danko akufado. And I'm ya o mampeni abe de No, my culture as a young northerner, we don't do that. Asem naba, and we must know this today, henceforth. 8 parliament are way. There's nothing like majority, minority. Get that thing right.
Oh.
Now.
Oh, how?
Now, listen. NDC as a body has 137 members of parliament.
We agree.
The MPP has 137 members of parliament.
We agree.
Obi na we independent.
Yes.
And also or person me know business.
Yes.
And only your business. And a speaker say say me person only business me di mu nya ka group mo. Na mu majority group.
Yes. They are the majority.
No, what that's I'm not. So with that group, with that alliance, Munya group. So Ghanaians has brought us this far to strengthen your democracy. What you say, and we must know that. Now, as Sama Ebaye, the speaker used the jurisdiction of Article 97 Clause 1 G and H.
Yeah.
And Eddie when na buy. I pay you mark in court. Super idea. That is the law. That is how we build democracy. I judge for the Omwatem would buy. Even though Assembly Rebecca was on Jordan, we are Rebecca was on 11th. But as party motion or fairly, and Nedi we hear when you are the buy. Law is law. Menu tea, yen united, make my debonua. But your person from Braquanso, you make my fa. But your person in United Nations is Assamana. You make my sister number. Say, I'm fine, someone quite down quarter. That's some Yademba. Now, nearby speaker must protect his integrity and protect the democracy. And the whole thing is a threat to democracy. But I'm surprised.
But Richard,
yes,
in protecting the democracy, yes, they say we obey the rule of law.
Absolutely.
So when you're obeying the rule of law,
absolutely.
Hold on. When you're obeying the rule of law,
yes.
Now we work out there as Parliament.
Yes.
Judiciary says, look, we stay that. Let the status quo remain. So who obeys rule of law? Why
Simple
don't you
as that. So the speaker has never disobeyed the Supreme Court ruling. Get that thing right.
Okay.
No. And so on to ask someone. Speaker Utie ne press conference. Now he was worried about the extent at which the three arm of government is operating. And also in his own opinion, the judiciary and the legislature have connived. And then the sin against the constitution.
Why is he drawing that conclusion?
Per the standing order of articles, I think articles 67, I stand to be corrected, that give Parliament an autonomous body, not interference in the procedure of Parliament. But which I know the Supreme Court didn't do that. Because the Supreme Court, they just a state of execution on the order say the 4 vacancies the service to remain per the cry and the pray. I feel like in the court, there will be chaos in this country, and there will be this, there will be that. I think the Supreme Court will feel that way. But you see, that's where the court of public opinion now. I think Bagwe has already won the case by court of competent jurisdiction, which we obey and respect. And the court has made an order. And the speaker had a press conference. Per what? 15% of the parliamentarians in this country has petitioned for the recall of Parliament because there are some businesses. I say, I mean, I am so worried. Say, yet your Parliament and you operate it. Parliament is not in session. But let me make this clear per your caption. Parliament is not in crisis. No, Parliament is not in crisis. It's the parochial interest of some individual. Now, say we trigger for recall. Na Parliament recall. Now say we could do on majority as it stands now per the ruling of the Speaker. You can choose to blame the Speaker. But let's look at the parliamentarians. Yet you were taking a decision here. And you have 50 years. Now they say if there is a new decision, say let's have a now. I'm a penny say this is a new development. I think it makes sense.
But say penny no. Their first sitting and so by agenda for indefinite and some recall.
Yes.
What did they say? Or say
we
receive Supreme Court
processes. And he has been duly served.
Yes. So what does it do?
You have been, but Parliament has the numbers to do business.
Yes.
But only numbers, I'm taking decisions on that matter.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything, because of money decision, because minority side led by Apeno Makin as a stand then.
Oh, but when
as a stand then?
No. The time a Supreme Court is just 10 years now, then that's
no, you have not been fair. No, you have not been fair. No. Yet, 7 minutes here now, you can't say almost the court, and there's contempt against you and I. Jointly and severally sued.
Yes.
What? Jointly and severally sued, and there's contempt. And the plaintiff, Aquanya ruling. Now register the case in the bar. Now you may do a now started taking action. You must be duly served. Yes,
I'm saying Supreme Court.
I had been duly served by the standing order of Parliament. He doesn't have the numbers to take decision. Because Article 67, I think so, I must have to be corrected, has given us some of the decisions that have been taken in Parliament. There should not be any interference, even in any court.
But were they to remember? You're educating for that's why. But you say you cannot. Not also take a decision as to who
on the ruling.
They have to take a decision
on the ruling.
How?
No, Parliament is an autonomous body. They are standing order, and in the Constitution, they have given them that power to take a decision. That is what you have
on the Supreme Court
ruling. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
please, Kwaku. 7 minutes, I never interfered. 7 minutes, I never interfered. I've not interfered. So, and the church said you need to get 138 to be able to take decision.
You're not right.
No, what I say I'm not right.
Factual.
No, which one is? No, don't say that. I'm enjoying my intelligence. No. Factualism is about what?
The thing is.
No, what's about factualism?
That's
what?
When the Supreme Court gives a ruling.
Yes.
Me not sure that or true there.
Why?
The parliamentary order what's not do.
I
decide whether they accept or not.
I use a caveat of maybe a contempt case for her. I use a caveat here.
Contempt case is different.
No, I'm talking about the ruling of a court. I'm based on the ruling of a court. Now, there's a ruling on the court of a case of contempt. No, sorry, or a case of defamatory, and then court awarded this MOB. Don't you as a multimedia have to sit down and think how to pay it? I mean, this is logic. This is logic. And the speaker says that he didn't have the numbers to take decision. Really? And minority anchor. I don't want to talk about whether the seat was vacant or not vacant. We are talking about what is happening.
It is 36.
No. But you engage me. I've not made my point. No.
If you give me
less than 1 minute.
No, hold on. I didn't want to hear me. So we are doing the next 3 minutes. I'm going to start with you. Go on.
So as it stands, and Parliament Mutriga recall. And the Parliament be drew here. All the NDC majority side, about Parliament, every time I say, you know, the speaker, I want to because neighbor party, I know, I'm required. Probably tea, no back answer, I could be a seven call. What it? Until you buy us, no, Muma Mutriga recall, no say. As a man by a person and come as a Muma Janamon Copmamba Parliament.
Sasadia, and your name said, near by your explanation.
Yes.
Say, ye papa or kayano, ye bania babeti, ye papa kayan.
Yes.
Which means that you're expecting the speaker to tell you the session not based on what the Supreme Court has said.
That is absolutely.
Okay. So do you then agree, sir, the speaker could be in contempt of the Supreme Court?
How can the speaker be in contempt of this court?
But
there's a procedure.
Also,
there's a procedure. So
but are you also aware, sir, Clark and say he never changed a certain arrangement of the majority. Maybe a majority for
me
or more name tax.
Dana me fifi hano. Mobile phone or the mommy. Send me bar me from betua. What from send me bar me from mobile phone about baby. Speaker tell me say 4 members of Parliament, 2 in MPP, 1 independent, 1 in NDC has vacated their seats.
Okay.
And per the numbers we have, I'm majority.
But you,
I'm majority.
But good. It's good you made this point.
I'm a majority.
So it means that Speaker nan can't just sorry cut na ho meboa.
Dabi.
Good.
Dabi.
Who now sorry cut now because of their speaker?
Because of the numbers.
Okay.
Yes, because of the numbers.
The Supreme Court says
yes.
Their speaker na can stay.
So Supreme Court.
Me as a member of Parliament court to speaker na court to.
Okay. And the speaker na ba be me.
Okay.
Me me so dem ko baby a.
Okay.
Me man court da. Me dem me chambers me represent me crop for. Na wa tell say me na me one numbers. And he say I say me no me ba me try me numbers too. And the speaker be tell oh, that na me say numbers am on say me numbers no biom say na aba nti say there nkofo na my your mafi Parliament bra.
Oh Richard,
I mean it's logic.
But one cause I will say speaker can't tell me say me na me minority I'm a majority. One now share numbers.
No, but what I say what is majority in Parliament is the members of Parliament have higher numbers.
I agree.
Yes. So
and then the Supreme Court says give the numbers back.
So did you tell me or so speaker?
Okay, all right you.
Yeah, did you tell me so speaker? So media man who say the question no apenyo marking and MPP for no their interest is that the title of speaker's majorityship, but they don't have Ghana at heart. See, we are very worried because minuti as some of Parliament say Galam say we crowd do the repeal of the reclassification of the forest. I bet was topic I'm saying. And because of parliament because I'm a majority title. You know what? Some of the parliament I say yes solving with immediate effect. Koku, let me warn you. Koku, let me warn you with all due respect. You are a good brother. Please, that kind of immorality. Never and ever bring it to me. If you are a drunkard, I am not one. I am telling you. I am being honest with you. No. You see, that kind of immorality, don't bring it here. What do you mean by that? What is that? What can you do? What do you mean by that? How can you tell me immoral? What do you mean?
You are wrong.
What's that?
You are in the wrong.
No, hold on.
You don't know what is happening.
No, what is
it? Okay. Okay, Yanko break him, bra. Well, senior Jumano say I sit here. We apologize for that one. Can I go 3 minutes? I'll give it to you.
Could you as someone you can the task you're having with him, the confusion you're having with him. Yeah, Makada is a very dangerous precedent. Speaker Babin also for this country. There's no one person who come here or bigger than any law. It is a reason why even in Supreme Court, or empanel and over some issues one person pay.
Yeah.
And so Babin entum kade say speaker on Supreme Court on asema menyaje as one person na memfanye djuma. That's what he's doing. One panel of 5 judges. It's a reason why we have 5 no. Most of only one person okay kukum abaka na asem. 5 people are you know what do I do be? It is one also constitutional or doing who pants watch for. Now our one person Supreme Court akasa as maintain. Look, even as president, Supreme Court kasa that's an entire you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Yeah.
You're in big trouble. And he's setting a very, very bad precedent for this country. The Supreme Court akasama as maintain. He asked him very questions. Everything rests with the speaker. And he said it here. What he says, speaker it behoves on him. The Oba Kande, baby out cinema on Sanaho. One so in fear, on one place and case on high. But clearly, while we're Bogunchen and challenging Supreme Court. Imagine tomorrow, assuming there a Nnawotwi called a Supreme Court in 2013. Also mentioned to Nanafo what happened in this country. Imagine Mahama Court 2021. Also mentioned to what happened in this country. Even they are respected. It's as respected. And you as a leader, as a leader of the house, you make laws for people to follow. The house makes laws that can jail you and I. And yet, the house that makes laws also won't take one laws. The very same laws you're supposed to protect. That's one man. One man. It's the reason why I'm saying that it's a threat to democracy. Imagine another one year to democracy in Jasmaba. Imagine Mahama 2021 year to Asma one man, just one man. It's a very serious issue. And I believe that they will cite him for whatever they say they're citing him for. And so I say, if you're president, now Supreme Court can't say here, or a treason. Or a treason.
Yeah, because the Constitution says it is grounds for the removal.
Yes!
The removal of the president or the vice president if they don't obey.
But I think that in the case of Speaker, you're very clear what it is.
And so no, that particular provision is there. When the orders by the Supreme Court should be obeyed by everybody, and if you don't obey, that is the treason they can. But also there for the case of in the case of the president, it says as grounds for removal. Good. Yeah,
you understand me? But one can't explicit what must happen. Yes, Marcy. But for even if the president and the vice president are grounds for removal, you are below them. You are below them. It's a very serious issue. We shouldn't entertain that at all.
Okay, all right, Marty. Thank you. Whilst if you bet my friend, you say whilst watching, maybe I'll be able to my friend 0302211701. One which will between 2 or 3. Now you know Dinkomo 0302211701. Friend, yente also watching and the course of Parliament who is saying Donald Trump winning and winning who is saying mente on so fra obo din baby offer if you know what Charles I'm not seeing come no be so assign abeto so in the next 9 minutes na as many as we can. So be a cry for 30 seconds that we can pick 18 people to ba bonitete na yemfa na kama na yenko yenim. Bre na yemfa 0302 211701 0302211702 and 0302211703 and 03022117 Obolo, eh? Okay. My first caller on the line. Good morning.
Obolo, good morning. Mimi amemo abaso. Ni mamemo mabuga fo nyina abaso. Na mentia onabo amwafo aibo. Nkemi MP the constituency. Mimi anokre ba akopɛ. MPP ni no to no. O hwɛ asɛm a wo ka sɛ abangbagbo yɛ ba akopɛ no a. Sɛ do anka sɛ yie. Sɛ be court no so chief justice wo yɛ ba akopɛ. Ano no so di kan kasa yɛ sɛ the parliament na yɛ ni nyina no. On 2021 ansa. Sɛ yɛ wo ma gana mi sɛ parliament yɛ hyehyɛ mra. Sɛ yɛ na mutifo na wo yɛ mpɛso aso no. Ɛnyɛ court yɛ small mu parliament. Enti so mu kokɔ yɛ mra. Na to unless the Kobasi court no anye omumara omukwa hyehyɛ yɛ di gina so bia na timamufoɔ eni eyie bia mu nti na omode yɛ saa mra no. Ɛsɛ Kobasi court so wɔ yin tumu a. Ayɛ kɔ yɛ nim na ayɛ bɛ yɛ. Efiri militantia yɛ hu sɛ speaker efiri 1992 ɛyi na yɛ ni fɛ bi hu sɛ ɛto aba. Yɛ hu sɛ saa de bi sɛ parliament speaker kasa na court wa ke speaker no awɔ fam da. Ɛno tie bɛ sɛ yɛ nia na ɔkasa bangba bi yɛ ba akɔpɛ no. Ɔkasa yɛ na sɛ na
okay. All right, Oborem say also what you say. Now, Supreme Court court Emrano, which is the Constitution, Emano to me says about interpretation of the Constitution on Trasie. Enti Constitution Supreme Court na Trasie extra provision no. No munyan Trasem na nkasa mo no say answer no be ko asem ne Supreme ne speaker ye no on hold you on answer. And no more and again or more meeting from no 5 and yes Chief Justice Nkwa. All right, Prampa Chome da say mami ntio.
You Mr. Family idea speaker no or yeah no kwan put ye na any kwan so never say and ka declare for sitting na send be na obetumi enya kwan na speaker no with me assign and the parliament no or the on maba and na a petition the best speaker and say or shena again such into brother be fine.
Okay. And in the course of parliament no officer kwan be na betumi afa so na ya so ano frɛ na yentie wo so wadwen kyerɛ na na bonso me da zo afra ma mentie we
mini ya na so die nka mo
enka won so fa
ma mo ni adwuma pa obomode ko show kan dike madam fahimi kyerɛ na uyi akwai ya san so boache na transport minister so enya mi shama hwɛ mini ya lokɔ kan di tu ewia si bebia almighty America come democratic group buy no omuku Supreme Court omufanya because Supreme Court can be na ya titre na chebega and there's no way say bosu ba ko pa kai no like ben ye betin motin ediyi ye be say sama akomanto akoma yam na me o hwe Ghana ha and no problem na trakwa wunya because of input John penia shafie am no case education and no case education one can obi aboni so because in school obi afie try Donald Trump ye mu bi ni apanafem o ka say opom black cinema ye hu because osunto osun tiye no jibo pe meyi pipi na Asia because okay bush ba ulman just for bush Obama so ba mo preso Obama bush so ba and to tell me ba say am sia ba onia
Mate yo me pacho me pese me mete from nchen kwan parliament betumi afa so na ne ekoso yetumi aso ano enti office kwan be na wo se afa so na ye deal with ne ekoso parliament no Daniel Western region Daniel ma mentie we say ya shre Daniel ewo ho also betumi afre 0302 211701 0302211701 na yentie won so wadwen kire kwan be na was parliament to me fa so na ye deal with what is happening again in the US election no ebe won so in December election Ghana ha na ohun say let's hear from you 0302211701 0302211702 and 0302211703 ma yentie also wadwen kire callers no enyamba me obi a concluding remarks. I'll just give you a minute on super fair minutes now.
So near cost
okay mama infra Grace me marching mama ntio
good morning.
Good morning, Grace.
Yeah, great Dakuma. Me papa chobe brave. Oh my Ghana. Enye NDC mine. Na enyo MPP nso mine. Ye na ye o mine. Na senior yempe fui omo ye wo parliament yi de. Ye be sre eye ye nrua. Eye abababin George Pass. No oye no kware de Bible ne ka kire yen fi. James 4:17. No only papa na wa nye no sabi. Ni se be kware Bible asem se bibie ni eye bone iman. Enti o hwe be ko an se wodi asem no ebeto. Wohu. Na on found so emayen. If you say ye mu dream wo ho no ma, ne wo ye nyina no won kan hu se eda ho no mu etwen wo. Wohu. Je pa won cho bebre ne wo ye ne die ni di mu ene ambrasi mu. No won jan o mo ye. Then pass the embra. Na enye asiwe na asu wo bi besi na to ko bi besi wo man ganim. Okay. I won show na ndis ne wo ye no enye no kware die enye. Mupe majority a Montreal to a day, everybody had run to a banner declare, mapa, like Mafa, Yaminti won't found so. Which I want to mean war mine view, 1 for 4 years in war mine. That one for my president, Mahama Kai. 4 years one film war mine, no be war mine 4 years, or better, it's Mahama, it will used to be. Oh, maybe I want to name Pachamedas.
Yo, Margaret, Mensomedas is out to be fair. I think we didn't kind of a mammo.
So, yes, democracy is not building. No, once the NDC has participated actively in the building the 1992 Constitution. Yeah. Now we are much worried near minority side of Parliament. Assembly bar, there's been precedent. Yes, people from Parliament.
But what is the minority side of Parliament?
That is the MPP.
Oh, please.
Yes, that's the thing.
After the Supreme Court, they return.
Please, also yes, sir.
No.
Until the Speaker make a ruling on that, we don't know.
I
don't think we should argue on that.
No. We are educating in Kofor.
Let me sell my message.
We are educating in Kofor. When the day the Speaker of Parliament make a ruling, I called that for your marking minority leader one day but I careless. What I say because the Speaker had taken a decision. They go to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has taken a decision on it. And you want me to still sit here and I'm sure Naka say they are still in the minority and you are in the minority. And yes, that's how we do democracy. So we're all under rule of law. So choose the right denomination.
Can I have 1 minute?
Also, can you?
So can I have 1 minute?
Yeah.
If I choose not to mention that it's not.
Okay.
So we are so worried as our side is worried, and we believe so. Baby, normal baby or why in case Parliament and you magana for one tomo. But because in conform person title, they are running away from Parliament. And I want to tell them say Parliament and your press conferences chamber hall. Into remember chamber hall. Na business yentimi Ghana nkonanim na Ghana for say mu say na ekoso dia say mu muaye mu yantem mu yento aba no e ma de NDC ne parliamentary candidate na ye bedru presidency in general next year na ye beso bejom no ye wo enough majority ya sanse mu nya densi. That is how it was. So that's
thank you.
All right.
Yeah, okay, cool. Just a minute. Your time.
Ghana for but when you what's there Dr. Baumia no wo shaya no oye pa magana nti yenka ye kwa yento aba number 1 man say to man yipo oko MPP parliament no onso fama no so da man pepepe to man ka skirt and blouse say skirt and blouse oboman skirt and blouse ebi no sisi as mo da parliament ebi no za be nti man ka no bi e kwa to number 1 and number 1 em won hwaze NDC wo petu mipo hwaze wo parliament hwenyima worry na nche esam 4 years you go for Kumari. I'm here, okay. In opposition, Babin also until be an answer.
That's it. Your time, you. Thank you very much. The Nnawotwi Medi. Nyame Adoma. Yabesa Yesha Oya Nnawotwi or the Yenyemi from Samuel Kujobrace on behalf of my production team. Yabedasi and the sound, the director and everyone. And then I was there. Oya produced by a different producer. Minya tuntum na nka mepene na yina medamo hade but I'm not getting it. So yeah, fancy ohene amponsa good ohene amponsa. Thank you. Yebesa Nnawotwi. Good morning.